Hi and welcome to this video on the PGFplot package in LaTeX. So the main goal of this video series is to demonstrate how the PGFplots package works and how we can use it to create graphics in our LaTeX documents. So let's start by just explaining a little bit about the PGFplots package. So the PGFplots package is based on LaTeX. And I highly recommend that before you watch this video series here, you also watch the video series on the LaTeX package, because a lot of the commands and a lot of the structure is the same here. So our series on the LaTeX package, you can find the link either in the description below or in the card up in the right corner here on YouTube. So the main reason for using the PGFplots package instead of the LaTeX package is that it's much faster to create the function graphs using the PGFplots package compared to what it is in LaTeX. So in LaTeX, you need to draw the axis by yourself, but in the PGFplot package, you have an environment specifically for handling the axis. So you should view PGFplots as being LaTeX, but now with a lot more presets that makes things easier. Okay, so we have an entire video series here on YouTube trying to draw several different figures, but we start with the basics in this video, just drawing a very basic graph, and the graph we are going to create in this video is the following. So here you see that we have some axes, the x and the y axis, and we also have plotted several different kind of graphs and also a circle here in the middle. It looks like an ellipse, but remember that the axes here are a bit differently scaled. So for instance, on the x-axis, you jump with 1 for each tick mark, and on the y-axis, each tick mark jumps with 2 here. Okay, so let's jump into the PGFplots package. The first thing we need to do if we want to use it is to import the package. And we do this in the preamble by using usePackage and then PGFplots. And if I compile now just to see that I spelled it correctly, nothing happens because I've still to use my package. So let's start to create our figure. So recall I said that the PGFplots package is based on LaTeX. This means that the first thing we need to do is to create a LaTeX picture. So let's start with begin, LaTeX picture. And recall this we also needed to do in our video series on LaTeX, that whenever we wanted to create a picture with LaTeX, we started with the LaTeX picture environment. And if I try to recompile now, nothing happens. And that is because for now, our picture here is empty. Okay, so let's start by adding stuff. And what we can do now is that since we have imported the PGFplots package, we can create axes. So we can create an x and a y axis, and we do this with the axis environment in PGFplots. So we can do begin axis and end axis, recompile again, and now we have created our first PGFplots picture, namely just the axis, so the x-axis here and the y-axis here. And the standard is just to do it from 0 to 1 on both axes. Okay, so this is rather boring. We want to plot stuff. That was the goal of the video. So let's add something to plot. And we do this within the axis environment. And the function for adding a plot is add plot. Let's do a polynomial. For instance, x to the third power minus 3 times x squared, and let's divide the entire thing by 10. So let's recompile now and see what happens. And now nothing happens because I forgot a semicolon. So just as in text, we need to end all our commands by the semicolon. If you get an error message like here, it's usually the semicolon that you have forgotten. Okay, good. So now I have my graph here in blue of this polynomial. So there's several things I can do now to customize my graph. For instance, I can change the color, I can change the domain, and I can change how the line looks. So let's start by changing the domain. Let's say that I'm not too happy with the domain being from -6 to 6. So let's change that. So here inside the add plot, I can have additional arguments. So let's have an additional argument explaining the domain. And I want my domain to be from 0 to 4. And the notation is the starting point, 0, colon, and then the ending point here, which is 4 in my case. So let's once more recompile it. And now a couple of things happened. First of all, my domain changed from 0 to 4. And the other thing that happened was that it changed the color. To be completely honest, I'm a bit unsure why it chooses to change the colors when I specify the domain. But maybe one of you can figure it out and comment it down below in the comment field. But if I want to color back to blue, I can specify color and here equals blue and just recompile it. And now the color is back to blue. And if I want the circle marks, I can just write mark equal and then the multiplication symbol. And then I have the dots back. Okay, so of course I can choose any other color than blue. I can, for instance, choose cyan, which is another blue color. And when I compile it, I get this plot over here. Another thing I can do is, for instance, make the line dotted or dashed or whatever. But with the dotted line here, I don't think it looks that good with the marks. So let me remove this part here and just look at the dotted line. And depending on how good your screen is, you can barely see the dotted line here. So let's make the line a bit thicker so that you can actually see it. And you can do this with, for instance, thick. Just write the word thick as an additional argument inside the brackets here. And it made these dots a bit thicker, but you can make them even thicker by writing ultra thick. And now you should see the dots a lot better. Okay, so this was a polynomial. So what you see is that the notation it uses is exactly the same as with x. You use x to the power 3 with this hat symbol here. Multiplication is the multiplication symbol or the star symbol. And you actually need this symbol here. If I try to remove it and just write 3x as in mathematics, I will get an error of code here. It will say unknown thing. But if I actually do the multiplication here, it will understand what I'm saying. So I can not only make polynomial, I can make the cosine function, the exponential functions, and all of these kind of things have their notation. So let's have another plot with add plot. Let me not take in any additional arguments here. And let's do the exponential function, x and minus, for instance, a constant pi divided by 3. And let's recompile. And again, I forget the semicolons, always the semicolons. And here you see again, we get another line here where, since the standard domain was from -6 to 6, it wants to plot it again from -6 to 6. So let's do the same domain as before, from 0 to 4 here. And now we have two functions, one in black and one in this blue here. We don't see a lot of the variation in the polynomial because, you know, the exponential function grows faster than any polynomial. So let's make the domain even smaller, for instance, from 0 to 2. So now it only plots the exponential function minus this constant from 0 to 2. And you can see a bit more of the variations in the blue line here. And again, you can choose a lot of other additional arguments here. You can, for instance, make the line dashed by just the optional argument dashed. And if we recompile, we end up with a dashed line. And if we want, we can choose another color. For instance, we can choose the color violet to create the graph here to be violet instead of black. And you can go on to your heart desire, customizing this as much as you want. Again, there exist several different functions. For instance, the natural logarithm is ln. And here you now see the natural logarithm. And if you want the cosine function, you can just write cos. But now it is the cosine function in degrees, not radians. And we, of course, want our graph to graph the cosine function in radians, not degrees. So then you can write cos deg x to go from degrees to radians. And then you get this graph here. And you also have the tangent function by tan. So there exists a bunch of different functions here. And the complete list can be found in the documentation, which is linked below in the description. But let's go back to the exponential function of x here. So thus far, we have plotted two different functions, a polynomial and an exponential function. But we can also create function plots by giving in coordinates and doing straight lines between them. In fact, this is under the hood what addplots actually does. It creates a lot of different coordinates using the x and the y coordinate of this plot here. And then it creates tiny lines between them. But if we want, we can create these coordinates manually without the function plots and just create the straight line between them. This is again done by add plot, and then we need to specify the coordinates by writing coordinates here. And then we can, for instance, do the coordinate 0, 0. And I'm going to create a line between 0, 0 to, for instance, 1, 0. And we can just recompile here and see what happens. And again, the semicolon. So now we have our straight line from 0 to 1. And if I want it to be a different thing, I just do some optional here. And then it turns from this strange color to black. And what other coordinate should we do? Well, maybe the coordinate 2, 2 as the next coordinate. And the final coordinate, for instance, for 9. And let's compile it. And as you see, what we end up with is straight lines connecting all the different points we wrote here inside our code. And in fact, here I would actually mark the corner and create this mark just to make the corners a bit clearer. For instance, mark with a star. And let's also do thick, so the line is a bit thicker. Okay, so the final kind of plot I want to go through is a curve plot. So here we plotted functions inside our axis here, but we can also add a curve plot or add a curve inside our plot. And again, we use the addPlot function. And the difference between adding a plot and adding a curve is that if we want to add a curve, we start with parentheses and then a comma separating the function for x and the function for y, and then an end parenthesis here, and as always, a semicolon ending the command. So this time I remembered. So let's do a circle, for instance, starting in the point 2, 2 here. And that could be, for instance, parameterized by 2 plus cosine of x And then on the y part here, we could write 2 plus sine of x, and then just plot it here. And you see that you ended up with a small dot here. And the entire problem is that the domain is wrong. So the domain just create this small part here, and that is not really what we want. So let's write domain from 0 to 360, because an entire circle is 360 degrees. Recompile. And here we have our circle. And the reason it looks like an ellipse again is that the scale on the x and the y axis is different. But in fact, it is a circle if you have just scaled the same way in the x and the y direction. Okay, so if we just make it a bit bigger, what you can see here, if I zoom a bit in, is that this is not a circle at all. Because if you look here, this is actually a polygon, just with a lot of sides. And here you can see it's a bit rugged, so sometimes you would end up with things not looking smooth. And the reason is that it doesn't create enough points when it tries to create the graph here. And we can make it smoother by specifying how many points do we want it to create lines between. For instance, we can use samples equals, for instance, 10. So if we create a circle with 10 points, we end up with an even more polygon looking thing. But if we increase it to, for instance, 100, then this circle here looks a lot smoother. But the problem is that the compilation times when you create more samples get longer. For instance, if you want to do 500, then we need to wait a bit, and you can't really see the difference. But if we try, for instance, 5,000, or let's take 50,000, then the compilation time should be really long. So you see it's working, and it's going to work for a while. So let's try to stop the compilation here and take it down to 100, because we couldn't really see any difference after 100. So here is our circle. And you can do the same thing with sample here. If one of your functions, for instance, the polynomial or the exponential function here, if it looks a bit like a polygon line or like a bit non-smooth, you can just use this sample here, create more samples, and it would create a smoother look. But again, it's more time consuming actually having a high number of samples. And we can also change the color here to pink to match the original picture. And the last thing I want to do is to make the color on the line plot equal to, for instance, teal, which is a nice color. And here we have the final picture, which is rather colorful at least, but it's not the nicest plot. And the thing we are going to do in the next video is to look at more customizations on the axis here and see how we can make this plot not look good, but at least a little bit better. So see you again in the next video.